have you ever faced discrimination from inside the comedy business?
Yes. Um, I feel like the world changed so much, but prior, I remember people not wanting to, people not, people being afraid about the amount of queer content in my stuff. And I was like, well, I'm queer. What do you want me to fucking talk about? You know, y'all, you straight people. I'm like, I don't know about that world, you know, or it was like, talk about like, you know, I don't know, like just a bunch of things. Like, why can't you do observational comedy? And I'm like, that's not something I want to do. So,
How did you overcome that?
um,
I mean, there's people that, as long as comedy has been around for the ages, as long as band's been around, there's people who will tell other people how they should be doing their comedy.
yeah,
And quite often people are like, oh, well, that person is up here, so I should listen to them. How did you keep your path that defined you?
yeah. I think that
Or that you defined?
yeah, I think that like, I have my own ideas of, and I was saying this earlier about like how I feel. I think that one of the things that I have sort of stood by for my comedic career is like, you know, I wish that I could be smart and snappy and witty in the way that some comics are really like sharp, snappy, and witty. But I'm not. I am the person I'm more of like a goofy, silly person who occasionally has like the truth bomb. But I I don't. I think that at some point I was just sort of like, if I'm not bringing joy into the world and the shit is just making people like walk out and feel like, there's a lot of comics who their aim is to feel like the smartest person in the room. That's sometimes people what they're told, like, oh, you have to make it be like you're the smartest person in the room. But the way that they go about it is like they make everybody feel like shit. Like you feel badgered when you're in a room where that comic is doing it. So I think that I learned that I am happiest when I am making people laugh unexpectedly, like where they're just like, oh, let's hear what this guy's got to say, and they're like, oh shit, like this guy just dry humped the floor. Not that I dry hump the floor often. I'm just saying that
It's
if it was part
happened.
of a joke, and I was enacting something that might have happened to me.
I was the floor and I was being humped.